What's up, guys? White Horse here. Gonna give you guys the deck profile of John Cleghorn's top 8 Gravekeeper deck profile. Show us what you got, John.
Alright, I feel like it's pretty standard fare. Play 3, Commandant, however you want to say it.
Yep.
Obviously, this lets you grab the field spell. Super necessary. You cannot play this deck without it, obviously.
Alright.
3 Spy.
That card's broken.
If you really want, I have no problem.
I don't know if I'd say it's broken. It's fantastic.
It is awesome.
Yeah, it's just too good, especially with the field spell out there. You got a 2500 defender. Most likely he's gonna survive. You're gonna, even if you scare them out of attacking because they don't want you to get the effect. Your next turn, flip summon, get the other one out. You can go to a quick exceed. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. So yeah, Spy.
Well, technically, no one has it watches the anime.
3, Recruiter. Recruiter is fantastic. Obviously he helps you thin. He's great tribute fodder for Descendant. And those cards in combination are so good. Descendant is he's probably the heart of the deck. The one weakness Gravekeepers have is big monsters, and because the best they can swing is 2100, and that's if you have a Necro Valley with a Commandant on the field.
Yeah,
that's 21 as big as they can go. So he is so crucial to the deck. Like the deck is dead if you cannot use him, because you're just gonna get beat down.
Yeah,
the whole day. Then I play 3 guard, obviously.
Why do you play this, actually?
Okay, so guard's another one he's like Spy to me. Huge defender, 2400 with Necro Valley, and then the way that this format is, it really punishes destruction.
Yeah.
And so because his effect, not only does it have the big defense, but his effect lets me bounce. It lets me take care of all these big exceeds that benefit when I try to destroy them or the cards that they have on the field. So that effect's fantastic. And again, because of that big defense, most likely he's going to survive the turn. I'm going to have some exceed fodder for the next turn. It's just really good.
Yeah. That is a good card, man.
And then I just play 1 Assailant. You really only need 1. I guess you could play 2 if you wanted, but 1 seems to be fine for me because he's one of those that you grab with Recruiter when your opponent drops something on the field that you weren't expecting. You've got to deal with it the next turn. So he's actually kind of nice against Ophion, because, and we'll get to this when we get into the extra deck, I actually left my Maestro at home. So I was kind of worried if I had an Evil Swarm matchup. I was like, how am I going to deal with it? But I've got Assailant because, I mean, his effect just lets me change the battle position. It's great. And he's 2K with a Necro Valley. It's great. That's it for the Gravekeepers. My last 2 monsters,
Valors. How this worked tonight?
Valors helped me out a pretty good bit. I think there were 2 games that I actually sided out of one of them. I wanted to keep the 1, so I had the synchro
mechanic.
Yeah, so I had the ability to synchro if I needed to. But yeah, at most I sided out of 1 because I ran into some other things. I was like, I can live with the 1 Valor. But yeah, I was able to stop. Fire Fist dropping bears.
Dropping that bear,
I would just be like, okay, Valor. So that was handy. What else? I used that against someone. I rolled over Samurais because they would drop a Kageki, and I was like, are you activating the effect? They're like, yeah. I was like, Valor. And they're like, oh, well, I have a 200-point monster on the field. He's not going to live. So they would just roll on that. So Valor's obviously.
Spells?
So that's it for the monsters. Yeah, spells. Obviously, run 3 Necro Valley. The card is fantastic. It runs so hard on most of the meta right now. Just tears it apart. Gives the boost to the Gravekeepers. Obviously, fantastic card. 2 Royal Tributes. If it was still
this card is broke.
Yeah, it kind of is. If it was still at 3, I would run 3. A first turn Royal Tribute is game.
Yeah.
Like, your opponent cannot do anything.
I opened 6 monsters on D and a guy played this and I just quit.
Yeah.
I left.
Yeah. It is brutal first turn.
The card is broken.
I ran into a game today in top 8 actually. Had this in starting hand, could not pull a single Commandant or Necro Valley for like the entirety of the game. This sat dead in my hand the entire time. It was really depressing. I would say I lost because of it, but I mean there were other things that contributed to that loss. So. Tribute, fantastic. Only one steal, whatever. I found that I was able to get through most decks without ever even needing this card. I think I've played it once, maybe twice today. One of those times it did get me out of a bind though. I was having an issue getting monsters. I was getting a lot of spells and traps, and I'd pitched a Commandant and used a guard to defend. Let the guard get destroyed, and then I dropped this and was able to grab a Necro Valley after they destroyed it. So that was good. The one's fine though. It's the card's good. I played around with 2 of those, but ended up going with 1. So 2 duality. This deck, unless you're exceeding, which I actually rarely do in this deck, just because I want the Descendant and the other effects. The dualities are great because all the special summoning you're going to do is most likely going to be on your opponent's turn when they attack into your spy. So it's just really great to drop your spells and traps on the field and your monsters. And you can drop the duality as well and grab some extra things before you get going. So obviously Dark Hole. I don't run Trinity. Monster Reborn, obviously it's Gravekeepers. What good's Monster Reborn gonna do me? So yeah, those are self-explanatory.
Yeah, you don't have to.
The Heavy Storm. I actually play really trap heavy in this deck. I think most Gravekeepers players do, but the Heavy Storm totally saved my butt several times today. So that was really good. And then the one MSC.
Why one?
Just the one. I side the other 2. The one is in case I run into somebody who mains something. Like actually, I played against somebody today. Main 2 Royal Decrees.
Okay.
And yeah, so that kind of, because of how many traps I run,
that upsets it.
Yeah, and especially after I've already dumped 3 on the field, I was like, well, freak, man, I really don't want a Heavy Storm if I don't have to. So the one MSC is good for that. I side the other 2 though, so when I played that Decree player, I went into those others in the next game. So all right, so I play 1. 12 traps, okay. So I play 3 Compulse. Like I said earlier, with the guards, a lot of decks are punishing destruction this format, so I do not want to give them the chance to do that. So I play the 3 Compulse. This card is fantastic. If I think they're going to sink or exceed into something that I don't even want to touch the field, Compulse before the materials before they can even go there. Or if I want them to waste it and go into it, then I'll let them do it, and right after it hits or it goes for an effect, then I'll just Compulse it. Compulse is one of the best cards in the game. That card is so versatile. 2 of the Tory.
You don't really have to explain that.
Yeah, it's Tory. It's fantastic. Most of the time with the monsters, I'm fine with them getting the graveyard because I have the recruiters. I'm gonna get the effects off the recruiters. So basically, because of how weak my monsters are, I really don't want my opponent to have anything on the field. So that's why I play the rock. So anyway,
2 chains.
2 chains. Yep. Played around with 3. I like it best at 2. I play 41 cards in the deck, so
I don't like how bad the grind.
Going to 3 without sacking anything else in the deck would make it 42. It's a little touchy. I don't think I want to go that high. Obviously, that card's self-explanatory. That's fantastic. Keeps your monsters on the field safe if you need them to stay on the field. 2 Mirror Force. If I had D Prisons, I'd probably play them, but I'm just working with the Mirror Forces. I like that they clear the field. Again, it's kind of contradictory to how I said the cards are hating on. I play the ones that don't let the destruction hate get me, but that's the best I could do. So Mirror Force is great though. Solemn Brigade, duh.
Obvious.
This deck needs protection because the monsters are weak, but if I can protect it long enough to set the field up, it's great. And speaking of field protection, because I play so many traps,
Starlight.
Starlight. I can drop Necro Valley and just a Starlight, and I'm safe from a heavy storm. Starlight is clutch. I've seen a lot of players for a while, play Malefic Gravekeepers. They'll run the Malefic Stardust. I just don't really feel like it's necessary for me to protect that Necro Valley. Rarely does that Necro Valley ever get destroyed, and when it does, I've got a Commandant or another Necro Valley close by. So Starlight Road's great. That saved my butt a lot today.
Alright, extra deck?
Alright, extra deck.
Might have to speed through this one a little bit.
Okay, alright, extra deck. 3 stars. We got a Zen Mains, we got Life and Dragon, and an Acid Golem. Those are my level 3s. They're all pretty self-explanatory. I really don't know what to say. The Acid Golem, I almost ran just the Acid Golem instead of the Leviathan Dragon, just because if I'm ever going to go into the 3, that's going to use my recruiters. If I'm ever in that situation, I'm going for game. So the 3K you use for the Acid Golem is really clutch. But I ended up just sticking with it. So that's my 3s. 4s, Cowboy, Dweller for Mermails, Black Ship, Pappy.
Daddy?
Pearl,
Pearl,
Shockmaster, and Sigma.
Okay.
Most of these are pretty self-explanatory too. Cowboy won me 2 matches today. It was fantastic. Dweller helped me. I had 2 Mermails, 2 Mermail matches I played against. Dweller helped me with both of those. Shut them down with a combination of Necro Valley and Dweller. Completely shut them down. Did not make any of these 4 today. The Black Ship, the Pappy, the Sigma, or the Shockmaster. I'm actually pretty reluctant to use my extra deck most of the time, just because I want those Gravekeepers on the field. I want those effects, especially the Descendant. I want the fodder for the Descendant, but. Pearl actually forgot my Maestro today, so I was playing Pearl instead. If I ran into Evil Storms, he can beat over Ophion. I would prefer Maestro, but like I said, I forgot him, so.
Alright.
That's the rank 4s.
Alright, go ahead.
And then we got the Synchros. I play Cat Daddy, I play Stardust, obviously, for Starlight Road. I play Scrap, I play Crimson Blader, and a Mistworm. Crimson Blader was for, Mermails, in case we ran into E-Dragons. Like, Crimson Blader is a clutch card. It's fantastic. Stardust is pretty self-explanatory. This worm, the only thing that I actually made today, sinking-wise, was just Catastor. I made Stardust because I dropped Starlight a couple times, but Catastor was the only thing I actually exceeded for. I like how these cards work with this deck. I might possibly, because it's for locals, I might possibly think about dropping the Crimson Blader, just because there aren't many decks that it stops super hard in our locals. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Alright guys, so that's John Cleghorn's top 8 Gravekeeper deck. Remember guys, if you like the video, please click the like button, leave comments on what you think, and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Thanks guys, this is where we're signing out. Peace.